Shonen Jump published an official website for Black Clover with hidden clues for a dark future. We have analyzed every single pixel, and with the information we have collected, we explain today why the second time skip will take place soon after the Spade Kingdom War. We explain why the devils will conquer all 4 kingdoms and what will happen to the remaining magic knights who are currently fighting against devils, whether Yuno and Asta become enemies, and how it is all Nacht's fault. Black Clover, New World, here on Unami. Before we start, remember that we don't believe that Nacht is evil. Please keep this in mind. Black Clover posted a new exhibition on the official Shonen Jump website, and oh man, things couldn't be darker. This time we didn't get a lot of new pages, instead the old pages from the last year exhibition have been changed. For those who don't know what the Black Clover exhibition is, it's basically a collection of images and information that gives a foreshadowing. Last year exhibition has revealed the word love, the English translation of the German word Liebe, which is the name of Asta's devil, revealed a few chapters later. So everything we find here will have an impact on Black Clover in the near future. This year we have a before and after comparison and an additional mysterious engraving. We will go through every single page and analyze it so that we can explain the foreshadowing. The interesting part starts with a mysterious page that shows a stone wall. I examined this page and found an engraving. It's hard to understand what this is supposed to mean. I traced everything to make it appear clear, and it looks like a pattern that has been mirrored multiple times. We can definitely assume that it is supposed to represent something demonic. This could be an altar, maybe some kind of ritual. It will be more obvious if we just trace the dark lines. Then we will see a head, eyes, horns. It most likely is a devil. So the entire exhibition has most likely something to do with the impact of devils, which makes sense since Black Clover is currently in the Devil Saga and they are already fighting the devils. Then the most important part begins. We see the comparison to the previous exhibition. The friendship page, which featured all Black Bull members, has now been completely destroyed. But we also see a new image of Nacht, which is the only intact picture. This opens the question why. We see Nacht's devil Plamid and the shadow of Gimodello. All of this gives me the first impression that Nacht might have something to do with the situation. But let's continue with the next page and see if we will find more connection to Nacht. The next page is called Complex and shows Noelle Silver. Here we see Noelle's picture damaged by a claw. What is interesting here is that the words that have been attacked are "How dare you attack my friends and companions." Here the word friends is again clearly emphasized, which was already used on the last page, friendship. This shows that something is going to happen to the Black Bulls. This is the first connection we can make. However, the Black Bulls are very unlikely to stop being friends, unless it is a tragic incident that will break the entire squad apart and cause everyone to go their own way, without necessarily having trouble with one another. Oh man, you already know where this is all going. Such an incident that can destroy the morale of the Black Bulls can most likely only be the death of the Black Bulls Captain Yami. It is interesting to mention that we can see one of Nacht's devils on this page too, another indication that all this could be Nacht's fault. The next page is called Pride and shows the pride of the Magic Knights. Here all captains are shown together with the Wizard King, with the exception of Kaiser, the Purple Orca captain, but more on that in a moment. Here too, all pictures are destroyed, with the difference that the pictures of Yami and William have completely disappeared, which could indicate that Yami and William could actually die. I know it's hard to accept, but what else can that mean? We should not forget that the final devil can only appear when the tree is created and consequently Yami and William die. Of course, there may be some ways in which Yami and William could still survive, but if we have to interpret the exhibition hints, then we definitely have to say that it looks like both of them could actually die, which makes sense as it has already been confirmed that Black Clover will be very dark in the future. It is noticeable that all of the captains mentioned are currently in the Spade Kingdom, except for the Purple Orca Captain Kaiser, who, as already mentioned, is not included on this page. Even more interesting is the fact that Kaiser was not shown in last year's exhibition either, even though it showed the pride of the captains. We know that the Purple Orca squad are always the ones with the most evil magic knights. They were the one who killed Zora's father, Gelder was the Purple Orca captain, and also Revchi, who tried to steal Yuno's Groma in the first chapter. The Purple Orcas are literally literally the Slytherin in Black Clover, so Kaiser is logically not automatically to be trusted. Kaiser is a German word for emperor, and you already know that when Tabata gives a character a German name, it is usually because he tries to show us the importance of the character for the story, and thereby gives us a clue as the name has always something to do with the character. Otherwise Tabata wouldn't bother himself translating the Japanese word for emperor into the German word Kaiser if the word emperor didn't have a deeper meaning for the character Kaiser. For example, if the kingdom and its magic knight system will fall apart, because for example most of the magic knights in the Spade Kingdom have to flee from the continent, then Kaiser could possibly be the next Wizard King, or how the initial term supposed to be, Magic Emperor. Kaiser could also end up to be a traitor, then along with the meaning of his name, he could become something like the new ruler of the Clover Kingdom. We will discuss this topic in more detail in the future. This is really just the first thought we have on the subject. We have to analyze this in more detail in another video. And I know you have heard this so many times before, but the one who put Kaiser in this position was none other than Julius Novachrono. If the reason why Kaiser was not listed on this page is that he is actually a traitor, then Julius was indirectly involved again, since he was the one who invited Kaiser to join the Magic Knights and become the captain of the Purple Orca. We are definitely going to make a video about Kaiser next week. I don't think anyone ever thought about the possibility that Kaiser might have a secret. If you don't want to miss this video, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you definitely won't miss this video. Before we move on to the next page, we must also mention here that one of Nacht's devils is also included on this page, which means that Nacht may be responsible for this as well. And since the captains are part of the kingdom's magic system, and we already know something is going to happen to the Black Bulls, it seems that this problem is more related to the entire Clover Kingdom and so to the Magic Knights, and not to the specific people mentioned in this exhibition. And if Julius is somehow involved in this whole conspiracy, then the meaning of why his image is included is not because something is going to happen to him, but the meaning behind it, such as that with a new system, there might no longer be a position for a Wizard King. And this leads us perfectly to the last page of this exhibition, the page called Promise. The promise of Yuna and Asta to both try to become the Wizard King. That promise burns away. Now, the first thought is always that something bad is going to happen and Yuna could get evil. But this would only work if we ignore all the other pages. But along with what we have already analyzed, it most likely is related to all other pages as well, and therefore to the possible upcoming changes in the magic system of the Clover Kingdom. It can mean that Asta and Yuna can no longer become the Wizard King, since there will no longer be a kingdom or something like the position of the Wizard King. It is possible that the Clover Kingdom will soon have a new system led by a new ruler, who may even serve the devils or might even be a devil himself. And to finish the exhibition, we can see here too one of Nacht's devils that indicates the possibility that Nacht is somehow responsible for this, even if it is indirectly or unintentionally.
Now let's talk about what exactly could happen to the Clover Kingdom, so that the Black Bulls fall apart and all the squads are disbanded. Yami and William possibly die, and the position of the Wizard King no longer exists, which is why the promise between Asta and Yuna becomes quite impossible for the time being. And how can all of this be Nacht's fault? The obvious thought we have when we think about why Yami and William are no longer in the exhibition is that they are both dead, which means that the entire Clifford was created and therefore all the devils have been set free. Of course, there are other ways to bring dead people back to life or how Yami and William could be saved. But for the symbolic meaning of this exhibition, it's important to understand that Yami and William have disappeared, and therefore it must be assumed that the ritual of the Clifford is successfully completed and all the devils are released. This could mean that the devils are overwhelmingly strong and that no one in the Spade Kingdom will be able to keep up with the devils. The Magic Knights will lose the war in the Spade Kingdom and will most likely be forced to flee somewhere they can be safe. It is a fact that if all the devils are set free, the entire continent will no longer be safe. Humanity is instantly enslaved and all the four kingdoms are conquered within just a few hours. One possibility is that anyone who is currently fighting the devils will escape to the open land about the Spade Kingdom. Tabata has foreshadowed this hidden land for many years. Logically, this land has to get an important meaning in Black Clover at some point. And with the latest developments, the only way to make this part relevant is by letting everyone escape to the north of the Spade Kingdom. If the devils are set free, everyone could be forced to flee. And so, this may be the only option. Nobody knows what lies beyond the Northland of the Spade Kingdom, but it gives the Magic Knights a chance to prepare for the final fight against the devils. Everyone will be able to train so that one day they come back and fight for the Four Kingdoms. We are pretty sure that this arc definitely won't have a happy ending, followed by a second time skip that will take place in another country. The time skip, which lasted only half a year, is simply too short for a typical time skip for a show like Black Clover. Usually, time skips are longer than a year or two. Also, humans right now are simply too weak to go up against all devils. A lot of training is required so that all the devils can be defeated. But this too will be a topic for a video that we will be publishing next week. So stay tuned. How can all of this be Nax's fault? We know that Nax spent 8 years in the Spade Kingdom, but has never really disclosed any information that could have prevented everything. He did not try to warn anyone that the Dark Triad is coming for Yami and William, nor did he try to help fighting the Dark Triad, although with his magic he could easily teleport anywhere. And there is a chance that Nacht might be following his own agenda, because he might want to revive his brother Morgan. We know that Morgan disrupted the devil binding ritual, and we know that Nacht said he does not know that what possible effects a third person interfering could have. Perhaps Nacht found out that Morgan's soul now belongs to Lucifugus, and that Morgan has to serve him for all eternity in the underworld, because Morgan was the one who stopped the ritual and sacrificed himself. In the book Faust, the main character made a pact with the devil, which included the deal that Faust must serve the devil in hell for all eternity. If that's a reference, then maybe Morgan will have to serve Lucifugus. So Nacht then obviously has an interest in somehow freeing Morgan from the underworld. There could be several reasons Nacht might try to contact his brother Morgan. We know that according to the book Faust, Nacht must have an interest in necromancy, the revival of dead people. Given the fact that Nacht lost his brother, it is only logical to assume that he is somehow trying to revive Morgan. Perhaps this is why Nacht let Yami and William be abducted in the first place, because maybe he found out that with Yami and William and the start of the ritual, he could possibly bring back his brother Morgan. But then with Morris, everything turned out differently than what Nacht planned, as the ritual was performed faster than expected, and it is obvious that Nacht never wanted the devils to be released. But it is also evident that Nacht provoked the beginning of the ritual. It is obvious that Nacht wanted to defeat the Dark Triad, and then he could possibly use the ritual instead of opening the gates to the underworld, perform necromancy, and maybe even sacrifice his own life to revive his brother Morgan. But things didn't go as he planned, and now he is responsible for everything that happens. And that is why he is represented in this exhibition as if he were responsible for everything that happens. Of course, it could mean something else, like something like will happen in the future chapters, rather than something that he already has done. But based on the backstory and the Faust reference, this is the most logical conclusion we could come up with. So, let us know in the comments if you agree with our analysis of Black Clover exhibition. And if not, let us know what you think the meaning of all of this could be. Don't forget that next week we're gonna be releasing a lot of cool theories, so subscribe with the notification bell turned on so that you will be notified when we upload our new videos. Don't forget to like this video and see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Yummy out.